Nobody talked about food waste 15 years ago in Denmark, and suddenly, people woke up and people started talking about food waste. People said, well, you can save time, you can save money, and you can also save the planet. So it's a win-win-win situation. It's amazing.
Welcome back to Heja Framtiden, the Swedish podcast on the future. My name is Christian von Essen. I'm sitting here at Garnisonen in Stockholm just after we have finished Nordic Food Waste Summit 2023. Great gathering with high-level professionals and ministers attending. I'm sitting here now with Selina Juul from Stop Wasting Food movement. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Tell me about Stop Wasting Food. When did that start and why?
Well, it started 15 years ago, and it's a Danish movement that I started 15 years ago, and it has become not only a national but international movement. I'm originally a graphic designer. I'm not a food person. I'm not a politician, but unfortunately today I do nothing else. And basically, we are a bottom-up initiative. We're a consumer initiative, started up, bottom-up. Suddenly, our first breakthrough was Rema 1000, which is Rema 1000, a Norwegian supermarket chain, which is in Denmark. They heard about me on the news just 3 months after I started the movement. They contacted me and they said, Selina, that's a great idea. So, inspired by you and your movement, we have just cancelled all the bulk discounts in every shop in the entire country in Denmark. And, bulk discounts is buy 3, pay for 2. They kind of seduce people to buy more than they actually need. So this news, oh my God, this news was, it was all over the news. And suddenly, the Minister of Environment called me and the European Commission, United Nations, and suddenly, I was speaking in the Vatican. It's been 15 years, and today, I've been a high-level, as they called me, keynote speaker at the Nordic Food Waste Summit. And we have a summit with the 2 princesses. We have Her Royal Highness Princess Maria of Denmark and Her Royal Highness Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden, of which, by the way, I just said hello to, and she says she knows my work. Wow.
So how did we end up here? How did you end up here? What was it that you saw that you started with?
Basically, I wanted to do my little bit contribution to change the world, and that was food waste. Nobody talked about food waste 15 years ago in Denmark, and suddenly, people woke up and people started talking about food waste. People said, well, you can save time, you can save money, and you can also save the planet. So it's a win-win-win situation. It's amazing. Let's stop wasting food. And suddenly the politicians got involved. The government got involved. The Vatican got involved. And suddenly, I'm speaking here. So it's been one hell of a ride.
But how have you seen the development in the public opinion and from the business side and the political side during these 15 years? I mean, has the mind shift been permanent, and are we now reaching a sort of tipping point, you think?
I would say the discussion is really rising up. I mean, our latest Gallup survey by Cantor Public for Stop Wasting Food is actually showing that 94% of the Danish population say that there's much more focus on food waste today than 15 years ago. So basically, it's the result of our work. We are really, shifting the consumer behavior. Now, what my entire point at the conference, at the summit today in my keynote, was that I would love to see making wasting food socially unacceptable. Making wasting food socially unacceptable. And no, I'm not talking about that we need to eat much more than we actually need. I'm talking about making it as socially unacceptable as smoking indoors. Because you don't smoke indoors today, it's socially unacceptable. So wasting food throughout the entire value chain, I would love to see it in 10 years that it's socially unacceptable. We don't waste food anywhere.
What do you think is the best way to accomplish that? We talked about regulations a lot today, legislation, and also the price that it should be more costly to waste food, especially from the retailer side. Do you think this like whip and carrot perspective combined with consumer behavior and technology can be the way forward?
A very excellent question, because there's no one miracle solution. There's no one size fits all solution. There has to be many solutions. I mean, it's behavior change, it's technology, it's the legislation, it's the innovation. So it's many factors that combine one solution. But basically, I mean, what we did in Denmark is, I'm not saying that we made it socially unacceptable, but I know that, today everybody's talking about food waste. I mean, we have an honor to collaborate with Her Royal Highness Princess Marie of Denmark, with whom I have published a cookbook on food waste. I mean, when you have the royal house involved in the fight against food waste, it's really something, because, it's not only it's not only the activists, it's not only the grassroots, it is people upstairs.
And of course, most of my listeners know the problem with food waste and why it is such an interesting topic, but can you briefly make the pitch? Why are we talking about this so much now?
8 to 10% of the global greenhouse gas emissions, they come from food loss and waste. So it's a very tangible solution to cut up to 10% of the global CO2 emissions, just by cutting food loss and waste. Now, but it's a complex problem. So basically, when you talk about food waste, it is an economical problem, it is a climate problem, it is a resource problem, and it is also an ethical problem, because some people don't have enough food to eat. Now we have inflation at the moment in Sweden, in Denmark, in Europe, in other countries. Inflation that is meaning that food is getting more and more expensive, which means that you cannot keep wasting food.
So what thoughts and insights are bringing home from this summit today? We talked a lot about increased collaboration between Nordic countries, for example.
Well, this actually, today it is the first and biggest step in the Nordic countries to a joint collaboration to stop wasting food. There are Nordic countries that are gathered together so we can find solutions. 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago, I won the Nordic Council Nature and Environment Prize. It was in Oslo. It was one of the biggest days of my life, actually, because I didn't, count on winning, but I did. So, but this is really collecting, combining the Nordic countries in collaborative action, which is important. Because, we do have an action in the European Commission. I'm a part of the European Commission's Food Loss and Waste platform. We do have an action in FAO, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. I'm sitting on the member of their Safe Food Initiative. But we also did an action. We need action in the Nordic countries.
And a lot of the action revolves around harmonization of rules and definitions and measurements, stuff like that, right?
Well, the measurement and definitions are important because in many countries they measure food waste differently. Some measure food loss, some measure food waste, others measure side streams, and others measure waste. So we need to standardize this issue. I'm working at the moment in the group of the Danish Standard Organization, which is actually part of the European organization, to standardize the food waste definition. It was also, I've been in a lot of EU projects about that as well, so it's not the first time, but it is a difficult topic.
What do you think is most enjoyable about your work today?
To see that my work is actually, moving something. To see that, today 94% of the Danish population are aware of that food should not be wasted. That didn't happen 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I was a graphic designer. I'm an introvert, so I was sitting, drawing drawings. If you tell me, 15 years ago that Selina, you will be collaborating with Her Royal Highness Princess Marie of Denmark, you will be speaking in the Vatican, you will be contributing to the His Holiness Pope Francis book on food waste, or you can get on the BBC and the video get viral and you get 30 million views all over the world, I would say, you're crazy.
And why do you think you have struck a chord with your work? Is it because you appeal to households that they see that this is actually something I can do?
It's a very excellent question. You know, remember it was 2008. We started to have economic crisis in Europe, in Scandinavia, in Denmark, in Sweden, all over the place. People needed to save money. So I came at the right time and the right place. Al Gore just published his movie, Inconvenient Truth. Al Gore inspired me to do this work. I mean, among many other people. And I think I was at the right time and the right place and the right communication. Because, you know, today I have 126,000 social media followers. I'm on the news all the time. Sometimes like it's 10 times a week, nationally and internationally. But it's also clever and intelligent communication. For example, I never talk about my private life. Never. Either online, in social media, or in the media. I never invite journalists at home. You know, when the CNN was here in Denmark, we had a fight because CNN wanted to come home to me, and I was like, no, you don't come home to me. And, you know, I really keep focus. So if I get invitations from programs like Dancing with the Stars or other shitty reality programs, you know, I said no. Because, you know, I'm not an influencer. I'm an opinion maker. I'm a leader. I'm a founder. But I'm not a person who's going there online or on TV trying to get famous. You know, after all of this, I need to get home. I need, you know, to have my alone time because this is about the cause. It's not about the person.
Yeah, maybe that's what's actually working. That your passion shines through.
It does work because today we have so many persons who want to be famous, who want to get on TikTok. I mean, all the...
For nothing in particular.
Yeah, for nothing. And you know what? It's like when I talk to famous people and they said to me, Selina, are you crazy? You said no to this program and this TV show and this TV show. Are you crazy? I'm like, I don't want to get on those TV shows because when I want to get on, is the news, is the TV, as the CNN, as the BBC, and talk, you know, about food waste. I'm not on the shows to, you know, dance or do reality TV. Because, and this is, you know, we need to understand, we live in the world where the young people, they want to get famous for nothing. And it's a wrong thing to do. Because you need to, if you're famous, you get to get famous for your work. What you did something for the society, for our planet, for, you know, our future, instead of just, you know, dancing or being a reality TV participant.
But if you find your topic, like you did, your purpose, your passion, your mission, then it's not that difficult to become an expert on the topic and become the role model in the area,
yeah,
right?
But it does
you picked a very good niche.
Yes, but it does require a lot of work.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of work, because you know what? You know, every time there's published a new food waste report, I read it. Because I know that the news are calling me the morning after. And they will say, Selina, what do you think about this and this and this? So I read it. And, you know, I've been reading like 400 reports on food waste the last 15 years. National, international, Swedish, Danish, Finnish, everywhere. Because, you know, I need to be the top expert of my area. Because also I love this work. It interests me.
Yeah, we really need a role model like you in Sweden as well, I think. Or you should take over Sweden as well.
You know, when I was on BBC, a lot of people came to me, I get 30 million views. I mean, it was crazy. And, you know, I got so many emails and people are like, can you go to Brazil? Can you go to Sweden? Can you go to Norway? Can you go to, you know, Australia, South America and do this for us? I'm like, no, start your own movement. I mean, if I could do that for 15 years, you can do it too. I mean, and this is the thing, it's empowerment. I mean, you can be the change you want to see in the world. You just have to be persistent. My first 8 years of work was absolutely without money. And, you know, I'm a graphic designer, so sometimes I had to work at night. And I have to do, you know, to get money for my rent. And I have to be, you know, do the Stop Wasting Food movement a day. And, you know, it's persistent. Because people give up too easy and too soon. And this is, you know, I am the true example of not giving up. I mean, not giving up. If you give up too soon, you won't achieve anything. And if you do what you always have been done, you will always get the same result you've always gotten. So, I mean, you need to do something new.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I've been doing this for 5.5 years, and it's been a struggle, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, but it's amazing. I mean, you get 400 experts interviews for the last 5 years. It's so cool.
Without any financing or funding or
And
sponsorship.
very good point. Financing. I would love to hear more about financing also on the future food waste summits, because where's the money? I mean, so many people are doing it for free. What I have suggested to our government 5 years ago, and I still do, is to make a national food waste reduction and prevention foundation, which means that put some government money on the financial law so NGOs, charity like us, like you, like everybody else, can get the money for the good work that we're doing. Because right now, if we don't get funding, we will die out. And I mean, I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate that right now I have funding for 2 years because we have some projects supported by the foundations. But I mean, in 2 years, I don't know. I'm all broke. So basically, if this agenda, your agenda, our agenda, if this is needed to take seriously, and we are, because we're changing the world, we're making the future for a better place, there needs to be funding. I would love to see the Nordic Council propose to have a joint Nordic foundation for all the Nordic countries, so they can fund initiatives like yours, like ours, like many others, who are changing the world. It's so important.
And we talked before this about the lack of visions that we often see in conferences like this. Today was a bit visionary in a way because we talked about where we need to go. But we often lack imagination about the future, don't you think? Do you have envisioned that kind of image of where we are heading if everything goes right?
Yes, if everything goes right. But right now everything goes wrong. I mean, right now we had a lot of setbacks. We had COVID, and mark my words, COVID will be not the last pandemic. It's the first. Because climate change contributes to animals migrating to new places, taking their pathogens with them, and they smitten the farmer animals, and the pathogens are mutating, and then they smitten the humans, and the new pandemics arrive. Believe me, COVID is the first pandemic, definitely not the last. Now, we have the war criminal Putin, who has assaulted a peaceful country of Ukraine and threatening, Europe with a nuclear war. We have another setbacks, we have climate change. So basically, the future right now, oh dear. I mean, we really need to be optimistic. And by the way, people are getting more and more stupid because you have ChatGPT doing your work. The Matrix is one of my all-time favorite movies. You remember Agent Smith? Remember what he said to Morpheus? When we started thinking for you, Morpheus, it has become our world. This is what will happen with the AI if the AI will start thinking for us. And it will, because we humans are going to get more and more stupid and more reliable on AI. The children will get the school assignments made by the ChatGPT, and suddenly the AI will think for you, and suddenly the AI will get, at one point, as Elon Musk is fearing, the AI will get, there will be transcendence, and then it becomes self-aware, and then will say human is a virus of this planet, and we are the cure. Okay, I'm on to Skynet, sorry, and Matrix, but I mean...
Nice to meet you.
No, I'm totally into the sci-fi. But on the future point, on the bright point, the AI, the technology, all the innovation that we are doing now will help us change the future. But we need to do it now. We know we cannot do it in 10 years. We cannot do it in 15 years. We need to do it as soon as possible, because climate change is not waiting for us. It's already happening.
I think AI can be a perfect partner in battling food waste issues, climate change, energy efficiency, all that stuff.
Absolutely. And that was actually what was missing in the conference. I would love to hear in the summit more about the AI solutions, because they are definitely here to stay. They're definitely, expanding at the moment. So
the tech companies working with predictability in the food chain and the forecasting, they are using AI, of course, to predict what to buy and what not to buy.
AI will definitely help. Definitely. So I think maybe the next summit, I don't know, it's going to be in Stockholm or in Copenhagen, you never know. The part of the AI should be on the program.
Yeah, I definitely think so. All right, we're out of wine and we're out of time. You're going to go back to sleep, and we'll see you again next year, hopefully. Thank you so much, Selina Juul, for joining here from.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much. And may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Let's see if we see you on Dancing with the Stars in 2 years when the funding is up.
Maybe in the next Star Wars. No.
Yeah, maybe. Matrix. So
The Matrix? I mean, come on. I mean, okay. I'm the Matrix fan. I have to nerd a little about the Matrix. The latest Matrix didn't happen. I mean, really, because I'm the old school Matrix fan. So I mean, the latest Matrix Resurrections. I mean, really, I think it is just a part of the Matrix. It is like a side program. Really. But remember what Morpheus said to Neo, which is also interesting. He said that you take the blue pill, you wake up, the story ends, and you wake up and, you believe in whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and you stay in the Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Now, what I think is the Matrix is actually Neo never woke up, because you stay in the Wonderland. This is the point of the entire Matrix. There's a Matrix within the Matrix. Neo never woke up. But this, my friends, is for the next podcast.
Wow. Thank you, Selina, for these closing remarks. Stopspildavmat.org. Stopwastingfood.
It is stopwastingfoodmovement.org.
Stopwastingfoodmovement.org, yeah. And selinajuul.com. And are you open for people starting new chapters all over the world under the Stop Wasting Food movement?
No. People should do their own movements. I'm like Morpheus. I can only show you the door. You have to work through it by yourself.
I love the Matrix.
Too much Matrix references.
Yeah, I love it. All right, my name is Christian von Essen, recording here from Garnisonen in Stockholm after the Nordic Food Waste Summit 2023. And we hope to see you again next year. Check out hejaframtiden.se for more information about the podcast and my other projects. Thank you so much for listening.